Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is the place for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we go along. If you're enjoying the content, if you find it useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or even just entertaining, or you want to give this channel some like love, I really do appreciate the thumbs up. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy, and I'm the author of this awesome book, which is Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, How to Manage Fibromyalgia to Have Less Pain, More Energy, and Feel Happier Like a Superhero Rock Star. And yeah, there's me wearing my Ace Fibro Girl outfit. So yeah, Ace obviously meaning asexual. So yeah, really pleased with this book, and obviously yeah, I can go out clubbing even though I've got fibro because I manage it so super well and have a lot of energy. So there you go, very different to other people because I manage it so well. And this is my system for reducing pain in 25 aspects of your life, having more energy and living a happier life. Even if you haven't got fibro, the book is excellent for, you know, overcoming depression and decreasing anxiety and living a happier, better life. So if you haven't checked it out, the links to these books are down below. Anyway, I was clubbing among sexuals and this is what happened. So yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a live stream last night before I went clubbing, but I had a really busy day. I'm pleased to say that the guy in the health shop, my local health shop, he sold I've sold copies of this book before on Amazon, but I've decided to put you know, one on trial in the local health shop, you know, just near me, because obviously it's a complete holistic system for managing fibromyalgia. And he sold the first copy, not the first copy of the book ever, but the first copy that he specifically sold. And so this is really good. So I had to go today to give him a new one. Obviously this one is my copy because it's got, you know, it's the author copy across it. You can't sell this one, but yeah, I was really pleased with that, and so I had to sort all that out because he had to pay me for it, and then I had to go into do load of shop, and I just got so busy that it was like 11:15 before I even went out the door. You know, and I don't like going too late because obviously it's a safety issue. Like I get a taxi back, but I walk there on my own. So you know, there's still traffic around at that time of night, so it's okay. But you know, as time goes on, and there's less traffic, and also you know, outside it's very windy. I've still got my coat on at the moment because it is very cold, but this is my top. I love this top. This is a new top. It's all glitter. I don't think you can see it very well. It's all sparkly. It's really nice. So yeah, I went clubbing tonight because obviously, you know, I was poorly a short while ago. So yeah, about, you know, and tonight was amazing. The music was absolutely pumping. It was really like all my favorite tunes. It was absolutely packed in the club, packed with people. I'm around guys that I'm really interested in because I have a 21st mindset. I live like a teenager and I have, you know, like literally with my mindset is 21 years. You know, I can do anything a 21-year-old can do, and more besides probably. And so literally being around guys that are type of really my age group is just amazing and incredible for me. You know, my birth certificate age has absolutely nothing to do with me. If I could physically change it, I would. You know what I mean? Like some people are not happy with their gender. Some people are not happy with their hair color. Some people are not happy with a lot of things. The only thing that is not good for me is the fact I'm stuck with birth certificate age. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm glad I've got the experience I've got to help you. And, you know, I just have this 21st mindset and I just like younger guys. I prefer guys to girls usually in general. I get on better with them. And you know, it was just really incredible. You know, the music's much more younger, the vibe's younger, people wear younger clothes, you know, there's younger guys. It's just a whole young environment. I'm so happy that I'm in that environment because it just feels like my soul's alive. You know, it's where I'm meant to be, you know. And they're really accommodating. You know, that a lot of the people there, especially tonight, they were really accommodating of me. And you know, it seems the more I go, the more I'm getting confident in there, the more people are noticing that I'm dancing really well and complimenting me. And the more that I just absolutely, oh, thanks for the thumbs up, I just absolutely love it. And I think being asexual, you shouldn't let it stop you enjoying life. You should be very boundary driven, so that if you are in if you are in that environment with sexuals, you can literally say no to them, because I have to like lead them, to what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. And I could have danced with a lot of guys tonight. I danced with at least 3 guys tonight. I mean, 3 guys actually. Oh, hi Richard, I made it to this stream. Oh, it's so lovely to see you. Thank you, lots of love to you. Yeah, and I haven't said much yet, apart from that I went out clubbing and around a younger environment, so I'm really happy about it. But yeah, I was just saying that I danced with 3 guys tonight. I could have danced with more. More wanted to dance with me, but I was like threes in there, so I held 3 guys' hands. So yeah, and really young guys. 2 of them were really, really young. So I'm going to tell you the whole thing, right? So I went in there. When I got there, I think it was like 11 or something. Now, at that time of night, it's usually busy, but not as busy it was tonight. It was packed. I mean, absolutely packed. And it was really good, though, because the music was so much better. Like, by the time I got there, it was all my favourite, like, Spanish music, my favourite tunes. And it was just really, really, really energetic and vibrant the whole night. I was just absolutely loving it. And I was dancing with myself a lot, looking at myself in the mirror a lot, which really, some people like that. Some people get freaked out by it. They don't understand why I do that, because they mention it. And I just carry on. I'm like, yeah. So I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But yeah, so I was dancing a lot on my own. I was dancing in front of the mirror. And then there's this guy who was in an orange hoodie that kept trying. He came, well, there was another guy that caught my eye when I was dancing, but I knew I didn't really want to. He was British. I didn't really want to dance with him. So I just kind of like didn't really, I didn't maintain eye contact, because he would have come over. And when he did eventually come over with his friend, I went off to the toilet. I just happened to need to go, actually. It wasn't really to get away from him. He seemed okay. So that was really, really interesting. But there was this guy with this orange hoodie on, right? And he kept coming near me. He wanted to dance with me. He even asked me if he could dance with me. But first of all, he told me, he said, I'm from Albania. I don't know anyone here, he said. I've only been here a month and I'm from Albania, right? Okay, so he stank of alcohol. He stank of cigarettes. And I can't stand alcohol. Worst of all is cigarettes. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't smoke and I can't stand the smell of it. It's just horrible when you don't smoke, And so I didn't want to dance with him because it just completely put me off dancing with him. He had a beard anyway, which I'm not too keen on beards. But, he was drinking a lot and he kept asking me if I wanted to drink. And I kept saying, no, I don't drink. And he's going, oh, he asked me, do you smoke? And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't like it. I don't like smoke. He goes, oh, you just like dancing? I said, yeah, I just like dancing. I don't like any of that, So I knew I didn't want to dance with him because he just really reeked of smoke. And it's not nice for me, So anyway, and don't forget, he told me that he didn't know anyone, right? Yeah, he said, oh, I said, are you a refugee? I thought, stuff it, I'll just ask him out by this time. He goes, oh yeah, I was in London for 5 years and I've been in Exeter for 1. And I said, oh, right, okay. And he even said to me, he said, oh, can I dance with you? And I said, no, I don't. I want to dance on my own, right? I don't really want, I want to dance on my own. I prefer to dance on my own. But all the time, he was stood near me and he was practically dancing with me, although I wouldn't dance with him. So he had his elbow, like I was facing the mirror and he had his elbow like there in front, well, that way, because he was the other way, but I can't bend it back that way. So he had his elbow that way pointing towards him and his shoulder was pretty much nearly on mine. And I was trying to get away from him a little bit. And it's really confined space, so I just had to keep not dancing with him. But it was like he was dancing with me even though I wasn't dancing with him. It was as close as he could get with that, really, without being full on my front and without actually dancing with me. And I started in my brain, because you know what I'm like. I get very caring. I'm a very caring girl, but I've got to stop caring about people that I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, oh, my little sensitive heartstring side pops in and it's like, oh, he's all alone. It's been a month. He's all alone in this city, Sandra. Oh, poor thing, and then my other mind is saying, Sandra, stop feeling sorry for the guy. He can take care of himself. He's looking at your boobs, no doubt. I think he is. So just knock it on the head. Forget it. This guy does not use your sympathy. He's a grown adult. I mean, he looked like an older guy. He didn't look a younger guy. I mean, he looked in his, I don't know how old he was, but he looked older than usual. I don't think he was. I think he's probably in his 30s, maybe I think probably 30s, late 20s at most. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how old he was, but anyway, he's not the type I'd usually go for anyway. And yeah, and part of me feels sorry, like, oh, I'm thinking, well, you're not really dancing with anyone. He's not really dancing with anyone. So logically, you could dance together with him. I'm thinking, no, because I don't want his smoke around me. I don't want his, he just, without even him trying to kiss me. And I knew that was what would happen. He would try to kiss me. And I thought, I don't want that because I don't want to kiss a smoker, And my mum told me tonight, she's like, don't kiss anyone, Sandra. Don't kiss any foreign guys because you might get the virus that's going around. I mean, I love my mum. She is caring. She doesn't want me to get ill again. So I thought it was nice of her. It's very hard to resist. You know what it's like. Hard for me to resist kissing foreign guys. But I didn't kiss one single one on the lips tonight. I'll have you know I did resist. I was a good girl. And anyway, 2 of them wanted to out of the 3 I danced with, which I'll come on to. So this guy, the Albanian guy, I didn't actually dance with him, even though he's dancing really, really near me all the time. Not all the time, for quite a long time. And so, I made it perfectly clear that, no, I didn't want to dance with him and that I was prepared to dance on my own. I was thinking, what happens if another guy tries to dance with you, Sandra? And then you said you want to dance on your own. Really, it's not true, is it? Because if you dance with other guys, well, it is true in the moment because I did want to dance on my own because I didn't want to dance with him. But actually, as a statement in and of its own right, it's not completely true. So, yeah, that was very interesting. And right, it was at least probably an hour later, this guy showed up and he clearly knew this guy. And I was thinking, there you go, Sandra. Glad you weren't sympathetic towards him. Glad you didn't feel sorry for him and dance with him because that's what he wanted. And this guy knew him. I mean, this guy was literally putting his cheek to him and whispering in his ear. Clearly they knew each other. I don't know even if they were from the same country. And this particular guy, actually, that he knew, he was a very good dancer because he did a bit of dancing with me. But although he wasn't one of the ones that held my hand, so I guess I danced with 4, but I didn't really dance with him. It was just a few movements, which I do sometimes with some guys. I don't really call that dancing with them because I'm not actually with them holding their hand and I'm not, having quite a bit of a dance with them. It's kind of like he was moving here because he was like the center of attention, but he actually wanted to dance with me a little bit as well later on. This was so I just did a little bit of dancing with him, just a few moves. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but that was clearly it was a load of rubbish. So I'm saying this to you in case I mean obviously any asexuals that are watching now, I'm saying this to you, don't feel sorry for people when they give you these sob stories. Because, that's what I was falling for with that Bangladeshi guy, which I won't fall for again. That Bangladeshi guy that lied to me. Everything he told me pretty much was a lie. And so, and I felt sorry for him in this country, which I shouldn't have done because he was going around snapping photographs of him and all these different women. He said, oh, women, no one's friendly here. And that was a load of bollocks, excuse my language. Because he was there snapping photographs. That's how I found out he was a womanizer with evidence on his phone because he was there snapping photographs of all these women. I thought, well, obviously everything you completely told me is a lie because obviously women are very friendly and people are friendly to you because you've got so many pictures on your phone with all these different people. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely poppycock. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So, my brain tonight, I was aware because I'm a very conscious person. I think it's really good to do this as well. I think it's very, very good in life to make yourself consciously aware of your thoughts. So when you're thinking your thoughts, don't just think them, think of thinking of them. Do you know what I mean? So instead of just having thoughts and you're not conscious of them, you're not taking account of them, always take account of your thoughts. It's quite a weird sensation, I have to say. I'm used to it. I mean, I used to talk to myself in my head for years since being a kid, so it's kind of like not much different, but I'm better, and in the sense I've developed the skill of being a lot more conscious. So I was consciously aware. I'm thinking, in the moment, what am I thinking here? What am I feeling here? What's my natural reaction? Because obviously I need to change my ways. I should need to stop feeling sorry for these guys. And I was aware that my heart, my heart was like feeling sorry for him, thinking, oh well, he's all on his own, you're dancing on your own, what harm can it do? And I was thinking, Sam, and I was thinking, it can do a lot of harm. Remember the Bangladeshi guy who's really, really lied to you, and obviously he did like this guy when he says, I don't know anyone I've been here a month and don't know anyone, because that guy came and clearly he was like hugging him and stuff, like putting his arm around him and talking to him. So clearly he knew someone. Do you know what I mean? It's a load of rubbish. It's just to get you to, it's just to get you to feel sorry for them so you'll dance with them. That's all it is. So be very, very careful and aware of tactics that some sexuals use to get you to be in intimate situations, shall we say. It's a bit of mind manipulation, or maybe even you could call it psychology. It's kind of like psychology they're using on you. They're giving you a sob story so you feel sorry for them, so to get you to take the action that they want. So yeah, it's very interesting when you analyze your mind. It helps with you developing yourself, growing yourself, and becoming a better person. It helps you to realize that some of your own faults and what you need to try and do about it. You need to try and correct it. So I'm quite aware that my heartstrings do come up like that, but I was aware this time to stop it. I thought he's probably telling you a rubbish, but I don't know. And then when this guy walked in an hour later, I'm like, yeah, he's definitely telling you rubbish, So now it's like, just don't trust these people. I know it sounds horrible, but sometimes it's better to, sort of, it should be innocent and proven guilty, but sometimes it's better to have the mindset of they're guilty until proven innocent if you don't know these people in clubs, because a lot of them are sexual, highly sexual, and they are intersex. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's that type of environment. Just that I love the dancing and so much, and I don't see why I shouldn't go out just because I'm asexual, and I don't actually mind some close contact. I don't mind holding some guys' hands that are nice, or that I'm aesthetically attracted to. I don't mind that at all. It's my body parts that are private, sexual organs, if you like, that I wouldn't like him or them to be touching. Anything to do with like arousal type of stuff, really. I'm a very like, that's not really for clubbing, really. But sometimes I do sexy dancing though, and sometimes that's really close body contact with clothes on, so I suppose it's not all the time I'm like that, but there's certain areas I don't let them touch. So yeah, it's really good to be boundary driven. So that was the first guy that was interested in dancing, which I didn't, and then he must have been really peed off, but he wasn't. He was trying to dance with me later on because I danced with this other guy. So this guy, he was with this group of people. He looked about 18 years old. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't know how old he was, because these people don't tell you their age usually. When they're just clubbing, they don't tell you age. You know what I mean? It's just a clubbing. You just dance together, and you don't see most of them. Well, you don't see them usually ever again. And I don't get guys' numbers now. If they're interested in me, if they're really interested in me, then they can ask for my number, can't they? I don't bother with them. I just know it's dancing, and that's it. End of story. And so yeah, so this guy was dancing with me, and he was British, really short dark hair, clean shaven though, nice shirt on. He was dancing with me. He looked about 18. I don't know how old he was, so don't hold me to that, but I don't know how old he was, but he was really, really young. But he said, oh, you're beautiful when you dance. And he said, oh, I've been watching dance, you're really good, you're really into it. All the, because I was singing some of the, kind of saying some of the words, I can't really sing. So he said, oh, all the words. And he said, you're really into the dancing, your dance moves are really good. He goes, oh, you're so beautiful when you dance. And obviously these guys are just like, obviously after you snogging them and a lot of stuff, so they say a lot of nice things to you, but hey, I just accept the compliments. I just go, thank you. I don't say stuff back to them. So one really, really big tip, if you do go clubbing, don't put them on a pedestal. Don't say stuff back to that compliments, because a lot of the guys, they kind of like, one, they're complimenting you to get something out of you. It's not really exactly a total compliment, because they're doing it on purpose to get something out of you, to like win you over to their way and their charm. but two is you don't want to be making them out to be better than they are. You know, don't make guys don't usually need all that, you know, stuff. It's just like if you're a girl who's attractive anyway, like I am attracted to a lot of guys, then you know you just then by them being with you, all the people in the room see they're with you dancing, and it's kind of like an ego boost. It means they're so good themselves or good looking because they're dancing with a hot girl or whatever they may think. Do you know what I mean? Attractive girl. So just by them dancing with me, it defaults to them being like being a sort of an attractive guy because they're dancing with an attractive girl. Does that make sense? This is how the psychology goes. And so you know, you don't need to start saying back the compliments. Don't do that. It's really bad for you in clubs. It kind of puts them their power above yours. I know it sounds weird, but when you don't know these people, you don't want to be doing that. You just want to be saying thank you. Thank you. That's really nice. That's so sweet. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, thank you so much. This is what I say. I hold their hand when I say it. Usually look into their eyes and I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's lovely. You know, so I accept the compliments because, you know, it feels good to have compliments, doesn't it? I mean, as an asexual, I love compliments. I know some asexuals, they just really don't like compliments. They don't like their looks being mentioned. They don't like anything to do with compliments. It just means it feels horrible to them. But I love compliments. You know, I learned at a business event, an entrepreneur event, that you know you should be willing to give to people, but you should be willing to receive. And part of self-love is receiving compliments from people and accepting them with open arms. You know, not fighting them, not saying stuff like, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough, or oh, I don't know if he really thinks that, which I used to be that type of girl that, oh, someone's paying me a compliment, I'm not sure if they really mean it, or I had to pay them one back, or oh, you know, like I was very like unsure of where they really meant it. But now I'm the opposite because I accept the compliments and things, and because I accept things from people, I'm just like, thank you, and it makes me feel much better, and it's very good for morale and self-esteem. It's very good for self-love. You know, there's nothing wrong with accepting compliments and taking them in. You know, I mean, just because, you know, I know obviously he was trying to close dance with me, this guy who looked about 18. I'm sure something was happening in his trousers, to be perfectly honest with you. But my hand was trying not to go near there. But I mean, obviously, with a sexual guy, they don't usually mind your hands all over their body. I will warn you about that. They don't usually mind. So, you know, he wasn't getting near my private bits, but you know, like they like, you know, like when he was dancing kind of like a bit close to me, my hands were touching his chest through his clothes, you know, through his shirt and everything. But you know, like when his body like bottom piece was getting a bit close to me, a bit too close, because I was kind of keeping it at a distance, I thought, I think something's happening down below, that you're very attracted to me somehow. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not even going to go near it, but that's near enough to think that something might be happening down there. Do you know what I mean? It would be like me just like tiny bit be on it, you know, like not pushing myself on it, but like when he was trying to dance with me, I kind of thought I felt something a little bit, just a tiny bit on the edge or something, not the whole thing. That was enough. But yeah, he wanted to kiss me, so he was trying, but I just let him kiss my cheek. I didn't let him kiss me actually on the lips. So, but he was enjoying dancing with me. And, you know, it was nice for me to dance with younger guys because I do like younger guys. Just clearly I do. I feel good, you know, and he was holding my hand and stuff while he's dancing with me. It all feels good. You know, I don't mind holding young guys' hands. It's great. You know, I need to be with the young guys or with younger guys. I feel good. I'm actually really enjoying my single life. That's the problem. You know, I get 50-50 on a relationship. Do I really want a relationship? Because I go there and dance with like different guys, hold their hands, have a fun time. And it's less drama, isn't it? You can go back home. You don't need to worry. Don't need to worry about anything. You just go home on your own in a taxi and Bob's your uncle. You know, that's it. You know what I mean? End of story. Had a nice time. Thanks very much. Didn't have any sex. Great. But I had some affection, some holding hands. Wonderful. That's a nice life. And so, yeah, so that was that guy. And so I was dancing on my own, and there was an older guy. I say this guy, British again. I say he was probably in his 30s, but I don't know. And it was so funny. I don't know, he might have been late 20s, so he might have been 27. I don't know, but I would say he's probably towards late 20s, early 30s, I would have thought. I don't know. because he had like a facial hair, so that obviously makes him look older. He was with two friends that did look like they were probably in their late 20s, or one of them did. So I'm guessing maybe he was like 30s or something. Anyway, he caught my eye. We caught each other's eye, and he came forward and started dancing with me. But he was really lovely. He didn't try to touch me at all. He held my hand. He was, he was doing really good dancing with me, but he was out of breath. It was so funny. Literally, he started going like that, and I've been dancing all night. And I said, "Oh, you out of breath?" And he's going, and like he did a bit more dancing, but then got out of breath and went back to his friends. I thought it was so funny. I thought it's so funny because I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm 21 as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Really, seriously, I've reprogrammed my mind to be 21. I seriously believe I'm 21. You know what I mean? Because these guys just can't hack the pace. I mean, literally, he was going, and he had to like stop a bit, and I said, "Are you okay? You out of breath?" And he's like, "Yeah." It's quite funny, but he was a very nice person. He wasn't being disgusting. He wasn't trying to get too close to my body. He was holding my hands, which was really nice when we're dancing. He loved my energy, and he was like a real, like, sort of like more gentleman type guy. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't like it up for just being with me because of sexual stuff. He was actually just interested in my dancing, the fact that I had so much energy, and he could do some dancing with me, and it felt good for him for a while. Do you know what I mean? So I really like that type of person. So, just because you're in a club doesn't mean to say all the guys in clubs are really bad and all the guys are after sex. There are a few that just want to have a good time, because he was with his two mates. In the end, he said, I better go back. Well, the younger guy, who was 18 years, well, I don't know if he's 18, but he looked really young. He said, I better find my mate, because he came with a mate. I said, yeah, that's okay. And this guy went back to his mates after he was a bit out of breath. But that's fine, and I was dancing on my own in front of the mirror again. And then later on, this guy goes, "Oh, are you on something? Because you're dancing in front of the mirror." And I'm like, "No." I said, "I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke anything. And I just get high on life." And carried on dancing in front of the mirror. That was really funny. Just because, you don't have to drink alcohol. You don't have to smoke anything to get high on life. Seriously. People are like, "Oh, I can't go out clubbing or dancing or can't do this, that, and the other unless I've had a drink." It's absolute rubbish. Just be confident. Just do your thing. Don't give a toss what people think. I mean, people can clearly see I'm a good dancer. I've had people come up, these people are saying I'm a good dancer, So, and they want to dance with me, it's nice to dance with different guys as well, to be honest. So, I was doing quite a bit of dancing. There was this other guy, right, towards the very, very end of the night. It was like the last 5 minutes, right? And this guy, he was a big guy, and he's nearly squashing me against the wall. And he was trying to take the mickey about my dancing, because I was very energetic, and he was a bit like, he was a bit like, "Oh," like this, telling me to calm down. I think, I'm not calming down for you, mate. You don't owe me. It's a blooming dance place. Do you know what I mean? I'll jump up and down that all the heck I want. No guy's telling me what to do. This is ridiculous. Everyone else is having a fun time as well. So anyway, I was really I mean, he was nearly literally pushing himself against his back. His back, like I was against the wall, and his back was pretty much like, that. And it was horrible because I couldn't move. And it got to a stage where it was really packed and I couldn't move at all. So there was this guy, right? Again, he looked young. He actually had a Snoopy top on. Very deceiving. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. So he had an orange Snoopy sweatshirt on. His hair was like quiffed to the side. He looked really young as well. And so I said to him, I said, "Help, I'm squashed," right? I said, like, "Help, I'm squashed." So he decided to come straight across to me and start holding my hands and dancing with me, and tried to move the other guy out of the way. The other guy was doing dancing behind him to me and sticking his tongue out, but I didn't say that to young guy. Anyway, this young guy, right, he was trying to dance really close to me. He was trying to kiss me, and I let him kiss my cheeks, I think about 1, 2, 3, 4 times. right? And this is like the last 5 minutes of the night, right? The last song, he's dancing with me and holding my hand. And then to get out of the building, he was holding my hand as well, right? Which was nice, you know? As we were going out of the building, he turned around to me because he said, oh, I work in Nando's. And I love Nando's food. I'm like, oh, right, okay, which Nando's do you work in? Because I go in there sometimes. He goes, oh, the one in the city, not the Marsh Barton one. I said, oh, right, okay. And he started talking about, I've got a lot of money. And I said, well, I'm not interested in money. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of women are interested in money. So anyway, I said, well, I've got a taxi booked, so I've got to go. Because he said, oh, can I talk to you outside? I said, well, I've got a taxi, I've got to go. But anyway, he grabbed hold of my hand and literally held my hand all the way out of the place, which is quite good because, you know, it's quite hard to get out there. You know, and he walked me down. And then as we were talking, as we were going out of building, before we actually even got out of the building, I said, where are you from? Because clearly he was foreign. And he said, I'm from India. I'm like, you're from India? Because he didn't look Indian. I said, you're from India? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I'm at university studying here. I said, what are you studying? Is engineer. I think he said mechanical. I said, oh, mechanical engineering. He said, yeah. He said, I've been here 8 months. And I'm like, oh. And then I like, oh my God. I said, when we were going further out, down towards the place where I get my taxi, I said to him, I said, you don't sound Indian. He goes, I'm from Delhi. Now, I've been warned by other Indian women, asexual women, that Delhi guys are the worst for wanting sex. They are really, really bad at wanting sex. They've warned me about Indian guys from Delhi. Okay, so obviously there might be some genuine asexual guys from Delhi, right? So that's not fair to pin that on all the Indian guys, but they said, you know, in terms of sexuals, heterosexual guys, they're the worst for wanting lots of sex. So anyway, I said I got my taxi coming, right? And he said, oh, before I got in, I said, I need to check to see if that's my taxi. He goes, wait. He goes, wait for this. He goes, I've got lots of money. I'm like, yeah. And he said, I can get us a taxi to your place and I want to come home to your place. I'm like, no. I said, I don't like sex. He goes, I don't like sex either. I said, I know guys from Delhi. I know you like sex. I'm like, OMG. I like Indian guys, but I do not like them that much. There is no way I'm going to have sex or sleep with a guy who's Indian that I have met for 5 minutes in a nightclub. I will make that perfectly clear. You know, just because I like Indian guys doesn't mean to say I'm going to do absolutely anything for one, right? I just have to be very, 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 very clear on that, right? And so anyway, but he did wave me off on the taxi, even though I said to him, he didn't get my number or anything, even though I said to him about sex, he did stand there looking to like kind of wave me off. So I waved to him anyway. I think he hugged me before we went out and he held my hand. So, but I mean, he must have been like 19 years old or something because he's only been here eight months. He must have been like 19, I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know what age they leave India and come to do university and just start studying. Because so you just started studying this year. Then he's like, yeah, I've been here 8 months. So I mean, he must be about 19 years old. So, but yeah, but I'm like, this is really weird. You don't look Indian. And you don't sound Indian, but I guess you've got no reason to lie. He actually looked a bit British. He didn't even look like he had much coloured skin. He actually looked a bit British. I didn't even know he was foreign until he started talking to me because he has a little bit of an accent. So I didn't even know that, you know? So I thought all the guys were going to be British that I danced with, but he wasn't. And so, yeah, that was really, really weird because, you know, I like Indian guys. It's like, you happen to be Indian. But yeah, there's no way I'm going to have you in my bed, mate. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know why guys think they can get a woman in bed after spending 5 minutes or less dancing with her. I don't get it. I mean, like, why would I invite a stranger to stay in my bed? It makes no effing sense to me whatsoever, but then I'm asexual, aren't I? You know, I don't experience any sexual attraction. I don't want to have sex with him. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind holding his hand. I mean, I don't even know if he smoked. I mean, I think the first guy, he was possibly 18. He looked 18. I think he smelled like he smoked. I think the other guy that was not really being sexual at all with me, but he was dancing really nice and holding my hand. It was really nice connection. I don't know if he smoked, but I think even this, I don't know if this young Indian guy smoked, but it was like, oh, bizarre. But yeah, so basically I danced with 3 guys, in terms of I held them hand and only got kisses on my cheek. I purposely made sure I didn't kiss them on the lips, even though they want to. I was like turning my face away, and I know they were looking to kiss me. So I was a very good girl. I maintained my no kissing thing tonight. So yeah. And then it's really weird because remember I told you that there's a guy I met who's Eddie. It's due to the fact that the heat from the dancing and the build up of hormones is why most guys feel like they can back a chick in the the same night. Eddie, it's nice to see you. Thank you. I think you mean bag a chick, don't you, rather than back a chick. It's a build up of hormones. It's hit or miss. But yeah, it's like, but it's the last 5 minutes. It's like the last song. I don't get it. I mean, he told me I couldn't bag. Yeah, I couldn't believe he said he was Indian. He didn't look Indian. Seriously, he looked more British than Indian. So I was quite surprised. But I mean, he was really young. He was wearing a Snoopy top. That's what I mean. He wore an innocent top, like it was orange with it was like not Snoopy itself. It was Snoopy's friend, Charlie Brown. That was it. And I said, I like your top. But I mean, obviously, that's a really young top. But obviously, lots of asexuals will like stuff like that. But don't be deceived, people. Just because they wear cute tops does not mean F all. Do you know what I mean? It's just another way of saying I'm sweet and innocent, but I'm not really because I want sex with you. But I mean, clearly, younger guys do have no problem in having sex with me. That's why it's hit or miss. It's a last call for booty. It's so funny. I have to laugh though. Thanks for the thumbs up. I'm like, what? Just like, oh, just imagine if I liked sex, it'd be completely different if I was a sex addict, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I could have had an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, and probably enough. But no, the 18-year-old. I don't know if he's 18. To be quite honest, he just looked 18. The first guy I was dancing with, I don't know how old he was. He just looked really young, and you know, I'm not that type of person anyway, but and he had to go back to his mates. It was only the last one that said that. A guy who's Indian, blooming would have to be, wouldn't it? But I mean, like, I don't like Indians that much. You know what I mean? I like Indian guys, my preference, but I don't like them that much to go and do that type of thing with them. Do you know what I mean? It's like shocking. Absolutely shocking. But I think both the young guys seemed the most interested in me. But it was really funny when I went to the toilet last time. It was like 1:30 in the morning. Club didn't finish till 2, but I really had to go to loo. All these people, like about 4 or 5 people, were playing with my hair as I was going out through the crowd. I take that in good spirit though. I just thought it's because I dance a lot. They can see me dancing a lot, and I'm like one of them. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, loads of people must have a hair fetish or something because they were going wee like this to me. Really, you know, not really horribly. They were just going like this to my head. And I thought, really? Have you all got hair fetishes or something? You just can't stop playing with my hair. But it was like 4 or 5 of them. I was going through the crowd. It's really packed tonight, really packed. But I loved it. Oh, the energy was buzz and excitement was incredible. It was euphoric. Oh, you got petted. I got like it's just people like going like this with my hair, 4 of them. But it's really funny when I came back from the toilet. Yeah, I was trying to get through the crowds, and as I went on the stage bit, because obviously I usually go on the stage bit, which is where I originally was. My bag was there, but I take a small bag so I could take my purse and my phone with me, but keep the big bag there sometimes. And literally, at one point when I'd gone through quite a lot of the crowd, the beginning bit of the stage bit, because they were really dancing, I said, "Can I come through, guys?" And they were like, "Oh, quick, it's her. Yeah, let's make way for her." Because obviously I'm well known for dancing there tonight. So yeah, it was good. I could have danced with more guys, like I said. I mean, there was a guy at the beginning that wanted to dance with me. Well, there's a Albanian guy who I didn't want to dance with him. And there was another younger guy. So I could have danced with more guys. And there was another guy that kept looking at me and I kept looking at him because I thought I recognized him, but I don't know why. He reminded me of someone. But yeah, it's I got petted. Oh my god, I don't know what it was. More like this. I don't, it wasn't tapping. It was like this. It's weird. But I just took it in good spirit. I don't mind. Like, I don't mind guys holding my hands if they're aesthetically attractive, particularly. I don't mind that. If they've got their hands like that with mine, it's quite nice. I quite like that. Do you know what I mean? Like dancing like that, unless I feel uncomfortable around the guy, then I don't even want to hold their hand. But if it's someone I'm asexually attracted to, a nice young guy, you know, the guys do look cute. You know, like the guy who looked about 18, he was very cute. You know, short dark hair, nice sweet face, nice shirt on, thin. You know, really liked me too much. And then the older guy that was dancing with me, he was very nice because I knew he wasn't being sexual. You know, he was dancing with me for my energy and my vibrancy, and just have a nice time and hold my hand a bit and feel good. And then went back to his mates. I know he wasn't being sexual towards me. And then obviously the Indian guy, I mean, he really wanted to do stuff with me. He was going a bit too close at one point. I'm like, no, like, you know, get away. But he did save me from this other guy, because this other guy was literally about to squash me against the wall. And so I said, I just said to him, oh no, I'm getting squashed. He came to my rescue. And I did say, I think I gave him a hug and said, oh, thanks for coming to my rescue. But then I thought, you come to my rescue with the other guy, but clearly, actually, it's not a complete rescue, because it's like, all right, well, you might be squashing her, so she can be mine. So it's like he rescued me from him, so he could be with me. And you know what I mean? But the big guy had his back to me. It wasn't like he rescued me because this guy was trying to be with me. It was because he was literally nearly squashing me into the wall, and everywhere else I couldn't really go. So literally he came forward to dance with me. So the other guy, big guy, had to get out of the way, and he's quite short, really. He's only a bit taller than me, probably 2 inches at the most, if that. But yeah, so yeah, but I think, I mean, I don't know how old he was, but the Indian guy at the end, but he must have been about 19, I'm guessing, because he just started uni. First 8 months. We can't be more than 20, obviously. He must be a great pickup tactic. Which one? Wink, wink. Oh, what? The Indian guy saving me from the big guy getting squashed, and then it's like, oh, I'll have you. I was quite surprised, actually, because he was dancing with younger girls at the time, and he just like, oh, okay, I'll go dance with her. Great. That was it. He wasn't even interested in anyone else. It's quite funny. Quite funny. But I really danced. Oh, and the first guy looked like he was 18. He said, oh, I saw your moves. You got some really good moves. You're really into the music. You really know the words. He goes, I saw you doing the mirror thing. He goes, oh, I thought that was really good. You dancing in front of the mirror. I thought it was really good the way you were doing that, because some guys didn't like it, but he particularly said he liked that about me. So yeah, 3 different guys danced with, 3 guys I held their hand. It was all great. I purposely didn't let anyone kiss me on the lips, but I got cheek kisses. These cheek kisses, I have, you know. So yeah, I had a really great time, but the music was so amazing. Like, they played nearly all my favorite tracks tonight. Sometimes it's a bit slow going. It's a bit like he does really good stuff, and then he plays like rubbish, basically. Sorry for the DJ, but sometimes he does play some like stuff. It's like, why have you changed the tempo? Just keep it upbeat. And tonight was heaving. I mean, heaving. But I loved it, you know, because I love the vibrancy and energy. And when it's all younger guys, predominantly, most of them are in their 20s, it's like my type of environment. It's like, this is where I'm meant to be. This is the type of music I love. This is the vibrancy. But, you know, they can't understand how I can dance all that time. Like I said, I mean, I don't think you were here, Eddie, when I said that the second guy who's probably in his 30s, maybe, he was out of breath dancing with me. And he only danced a little bit, and he was going... And I said, oh, you out of breath? And he said, yeah, it always makes me laugh when I say stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, go for the cheek kisses, make them work for the lips. Oh, my mum gave me you'd think I'm 5, but I do love her. She's so wonderful. Like she said, don't you go kissing any foreign guys, because the virus that's going around, she goes, I don't want you getting that virus, because you pass it on via saliva. Don't kiss any foreign guys. Do you hear me? I'm like, yes, mum, thank you for caring. I love you caring. But you know, it's quite difficult for me to resist kissing foreign guys. I mean, I could have kissed 2 tonight, young guys as well, but I wasn't sure if they smoked, actually. But yeah, so I resisted. I'm like, oh man. Laugh out, honey, don't get the plague. I know. I mean, my mum doesn't want me to get hurt again. Not hurt, you know, ill again. So she's got a really kind heart. She cares about me, which is really nice. But I know she would never do something like that. What I do. She would never go kiss guys in nightclubs. My parents get horrified that I do that, really. They're like, oh my MG, why do you go around kissing strangers, Sandra? It's because, well, why not? It's a club and I like kissing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I gotta have my kissing need met somehow. Why not? Do you know what I mean? So, but obviously, I don't want to get ill. The problem is if they smoke, then, and I don't know it. So I've really got to, should I be asking them if they smoke? But I can smell it on someone. Like the Albanian guy, I didn't even want him near me in the end. You know what I mean? I didn't want to dance with him. He asked me because he just stank of smoke as well as alcohol, but smoking, which is horrendous. It's like a ball full of smoke. I was like, oh, he must have smoked a lot. He even asked me if I smoked. He must smoke a heck of a lot to smell that badly of it. But yeah, but I had a great time. I really think I'm meant to go there. I feel it's one with my soul. The whole music is great. Tonight was buzzing. I was around like loads of younger guys, so a lot of them were very welcoming towards my dancing. Some other guys as well, they would start doing a little bit of like stuff with me like this, because they knew I was good at dancing. I got complimented at my dancing. And that's what I really do love, because I love dancing. I like being paid compliments about dancing, but I find it's the type of music I can dance to best. Do you know what I mean? Like, I went out with some older people on meetup.com the other day for the first time. Older music, older environment, older people. The surface for dancing wasn't that great, and it's not really, the music's not that great for dancing to, most of it. There was like a couple of songs that was, yeah, there was one song that was really good to dance to, but maybe a couple more. But yeah, but I'm much better suited to a younger environment. Clearly, I'm meant to be with a younger guy in a relationship as well, if I ever want a relationship. The thing is, I don't know what to do, because I love dancing, and I actually like dancing with different guys. It's good fun, especially when I'm single. It's like, there's so many problems with relationships. I find so much hassle and drama a lot of the time that I prefer being single. But I'm part of my conditioning, I guess, from being a young kid, is I'm geared towards a relationship. Like, my default setting is a relationship, but I struggle because my default setting being in a relationship, but yet I like a lot of freedom. If it's not 80s goth or metal, I don't want to be in a club. No, it's none of that. None of 80s goth or metal. No, I'm the opposite to that. I like pumping music. No, it's Shakira, Ricky Martin, Despacito. You know that song Despacito? Yeah, Shakira, Hips Don't Lie, that type of thing. Or whatever they played today by Shakira. I actually recorded a bit of a video with me, but I've got to be careful with YouTube, obviously, because it's not my music. Boo. Yeah, no, that's not my type of thing at all. I'm too young for that. I'm too young for that. I mean, the older people's, that was 80s, and that was 70s, 80s and 90s. I'm Hispanic. I don't listen to these songs. Oh, I love Hispanic music. I love Spanish music. This guy was saying to me, the really young guy, looked 18, he was saying to me, oh, do you speak Spanish? Because you're saying some of the words. You seem to know all the words. It's so good. And I'm like, no, I don't really. But yeah, so yeah. Oh no, I love it. I love Despacito. I love Ricky Martin stuff, like Baleando. What's it called? They just played loads and loads of really good. Is it Nessa? I can't. I know. I'll start singing it if I'm not careful. I just love the songs. Like, I play Baleando. Is it Baleando? I can't remember how you pronounce it. But there's like loads of stuff like that. I love Enrique Iglesias, all that type of stuff. I'm like, that's what I'm into. Young, upbeat, high tempo, high octane music. Like, I like techno music as well. But like that, on Tuesday nights they always do foreign music. It's amazing. I love it so much, and obviously I like the whole foreign thing. Really, I mean, most of my week spent listening to Indian music now. It's not very good when you're hyper romantic to listen to Indian music, because seriously, it just makes you want to kiss an Indian guy. Well, with me, it makes me want to kiss Indian guys all the time. So when you're trying to if you want to stop making yourself quite so hyper romantic, it's better to do the opposite of what makes you hyper romantic. So actually watching Indian guys, Belando, but isn't pronounced Balilando, isn't it? Isn't it pronounced Balilando? Sounds like it's pronounced Balilando when they sing it. But yeah, so that's the song anyway. They played that tonight and I liked it a lot. And Nessun Dorma. No, not Nessun Dorma. song. That's opera, but there's a song which has got Nessa Bailando. It's dancing in Spanish, Bailando. What's the other one? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, anyway, they just played so much good stuff. Like they played La Bamba as well. I suppose La Bamba's older. Is La Bamba 80s? Because that's quite old, isn't it? La Bamba. I do like that. That's an older track. Is it 80s or 70s? La Bamba. I think it's 80s, isn't it? From the film. I think. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so it was just incredible. I really had such a good time. You know, I thought everything is on point. I thought I'm around a lot of younger guys, British and foreign. Because I've been dancing with more British guys lately. I mean, the older guy was British. It's quite interesting, isn't it? I'm putting myself dancing with some British guys even and holding their hands. That's quite a big step for me. I still think they're quite young looking. I mean, the guy, one of them looked like he was 18, like I said. I don't know how old the other guy was. It's really a puzzle because he has some facial hair and I can't work out if he's in his 20s or 30s. But he was still a nice person. But yeah, and today now, because we're in Wednesday, I'm going to be seeing that guy. So if you remember that I went to a networking event on meetup.com. It was a business event. It was a good event, actually. And this guy, in brief, I messaged him on meetup.com before I went there. I was attracted to him. And anyway, to cut a very long story short, while he was there, we recognised each other from the photographs on Meetup. And then he found out I was asexual and said that must. And I said, Eddie, actually, I didn't mention your name, but I said, oh, there's a guy. First La Bamba song was from 1963. Oh, right, that's quite an old song then. Yeah, but it's still nice. I do like that one. So I do like a bit of older music, just not that much. But no, I have got older music. To be honest, I've got 60s and 70s and a range because I used to do hospital radio show for older people as well as do a kids show as well. So I've got different music. So I've got 60s and 70s music, like whole albums, CD albums of it because I used to play them for the older people on the wards. And I like some of it. Sugar Sugar by the Archies. I like that one, actually. There are some older music I like, but I wouldn't usually go out clubbing to it. Do you know what I mean? And I prefer going out dancing to younger or foreign music, particularly. The atmosphere is great. So what was I saying? Oh, yes. To cut a long story short, I did actually mention to this guy that there is a guy on my channel who's not asexual, who's got an asexual girlfriend. He said it's the purest form of love because he was saying that must be hard, to be with an asexual person, basically, and not have sex. And that's when I said, there's someone on my channel. That is why my ears were ringing. Yeah. No, I didn't say this today. This is like last month. This guy hasn't contacted me for a long time. Someone was talking about me again. But I wasn't talking about you since last month. I haven't spoke. This was last month in January. I mean, I don't know if you know the backstory because I did it on a previous video, but I did say what happened. It was quite a long, lengthy video I did. So I didn't actually talk about you since takes time, your distance. Takes time to filter through because yeah, well, you didn't know I was going to say this tonight, did you? So I suppose you psychically knew. But yeah, so this guy, I met at the business networking and he said it must be quite hard. And so I thought, right, he's not interested in me. So I'll just go off and network with the other people. There were some other foreign guys there, some other people. And then there was a guy that was interested in asexuality because he had an asexual friend. So he took a business card. There was another guy that was listening. And to cut a long story short, this guy then started saying, oh, do you organise meetups? And I said, yeah, but they're asexual ones. He goes, that's fine. I'd like to come along to one and like knowing more about it. And I'm like, well, it's just for asexuals. I said, oops. I said, I can't really do that. I'd have to do a completely different meetup with them knowing that you were sexual. I said, but, like not asexual. I said, and so I couldn't really do that. I wouldn't be right because asexuals need a comfortable space. Do you know what I mean? I'd have to particularly say it's got other people there that aren't asexual. And really, I like to keep, at the moment, I said I like to keep them for asexual so they feel comfortable and have a safe space to talk. And then he said, oh, okay. And then I said, well, you're welcome to meet up with me one-to-one and talk about asexuality if you want. And he's like, oh, yeah, here's my number. And so I gave him, so he gave me his number. No, he asked me for my number. Sorry, he asked me for my number, and then he pinged me on my phone while I was still there with his number. And at the same time, there was these two other guys there, older guys. One was asking for my card because he knew someone was asexual. And I said, "Oh, is it a girl or a guy?" He goes, "Oh, it's a girl. Why?" I said, "Oh, because I'm looking for a guy, romantic guy." That's why I asked. And then there was another guy that was giving me a card to do with that. Give me a card to do with a Mac, in case my Mac's got problems. He knows loads. There's a meetup group where people help people with Mac problems, and they apparently know more than the Mac saw. Anyway, when I was talking about asexuality, these two guys are older. The younger guy's in front of me, right? Bear in mind, the younger guy is like, like waiting for my phone number to give to him, and like, he's waiting around like for me to make sure I've got his number. And literally, when I said I'm a different type of asexual though to these older blokes, and this younger guy was right in front of me, and I said, I really, really love kissing. I'm really into it. I'm very different to other asexuals. And he's this older guy, to do with the guy, he goes to meetup groups for Macs, Apple Mac I'm talking about. He said, oh yeah, who doesn't like kissing? And his whole eyes lit up. And even the older guy next to me lit up as well. And obviously I thought, God, you fancy me, because obviously that's so much to say I'd love to kiss you. So I just like, oh no, actually I like younger guys, foreign guys actually. And the younger foreign guy was just right in front of me here. And I was kind of like very awkward. I'm like, no, I like younger foreign guys actually. I'm like, oh, yeah. So, Eddie, best 10 years wait I ever had, and it was worth it. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I wish more sexual guys were like you. I really do. Do you know what I mean? I know you're so dedicated to your girl. Really dedicated. I know you never do anything bad. You love her to bits. I know that. You're very, very, very loyal and faithful to her, which is good. So a lot of sexual guys aren't, it's very good. You value her and appreciate her for who she is, and I think that's really, really good. It's nice that she came on that channel. Takes time to reach that level I am on. Yeah, it does take time to reach that level. I agree. That's the trouble. A lot of people said, oh, you like guys in their 20s, you've got no chance, because obviously there are some asexual guys that are in their 20s, but unfortunately, I seem to be in some ways better suited to sexuals in the kissing arena and the close physical contact with clothes on, not off. Obviously, younger guys prefer everything, but in some ways with the kissing, it's very hard, and sexual guys tend to be more pursuers. They tend to be more interested in getting into a relationship. They tend to be more like, like quick off the mark. Like when I went in that Indian group, I got accepted to that Indian Facebook group. I got 7 guys messaging me. One just went on the phone. The other guy offered to phone me. Do you know what I mean? Asexuals are not like that. You try and go on asexual dating sites or ASAP, and literally most people don't even respond to you. They don't, and if you ask, well, shall we Skype to get to know each other? Like, oh, I'm too shy, or I'm not sure I'm ready to do that yet. And it's like, ugh, just saves so much time, wasting time. If you just like, let's get on a video chat. Let's go on a phone call, let's make it happen. If we're not suitable at all, move on. Do you know what I mean? Life's too short. With sexual guys, they're well on the case, obviously, because it seems like sex involved, but it's sad. I wish there were more asexuals that were active pursuers that really did want a relationship and they were serious about it and would take the time out to go and pursue that, But a lot of them I find don't. It's not just me that finds this. Some of my asexual friends find the same. Best friend Sam finds the same. When I tried to talk to Sheila at the start, it was tough going. It was rough going. Yeah, well, this guy I'm seeing large gaps in conversation. Well, this I mean, I'm an extrovert, so if sexuals talk to me, I'm like straight in there. Do you know what I mean? I have no problem. I'm not a shy girl. And I love conversation. Do you know what I mean? But this guy I'm seeing tomorrow, right? He was asking me outside the venue. He was asking me like, how young do I like? 10, 20 years younger, or 10 years younger, 20 years younger. So I don't know if tomorrow is a date. I don't know if tomorrow is a just someone he met at a business networking event, which he did, me, and just hanging out together for a bit to get to know each other, or if he just wants a friend, or what he wants. I have no idea what, well, later today is. I don't know if it's a date or not. Do you know what I mean? But he was asking me leading questions like, oh, so when we're outside the venue, he was asking me, he said, so do you like guys, you like younger guys? So how young can they be? Like 20, like 10 years younger, 20 years younger? I didn't say that. I didn't answer that directly. I just said, well, my last boyfriend was 23 and that was a good age for me. But sadly, he wasn't asexual and he wasn't good for me in the end. So we're not, that was it. Seems curious about you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he did say asexuality. He goes, oh, that's like being a nun. I'm like, no, that's abstaining. It's a completely different thing. And yeah, I asked him at the time about going clubbing, and he said, yeah, but he can't do it in the week because he has work, so it'd have to be at the weekend. And then he asked me if I wanted to go walking with him places. And I'm like, well, I can't really do that because of my fibromyalgia. I can't walk long distances because I need the toilet and stuff. It's not good. So I said sorry about that. But yeah, so it was really weird. And he was asking me what fibromyalgia was, but it was like he was like quite talkative. But there was two women that were leaving the building. He asked, say, oh, I'm walking home now. Are you going my way? So I thought, well, actually, you can't be that interested in me if you're more interested in going home with the two women, like going the same way as them. But they weren't. They're like, we only live around the corner. But yeah, and also the bad news, Eddie, is he doesn't like messaging, text messaging or Facebook messaging. He literally said, oh, can we keep conversations to just PM now? But he wasn't interested in messaging me. And then in the end, he said, oh, I'm good with in-person. He prefers in-person conversation. So I was messaging him and he was like writing like stuff back that wasn't, that was like, I felt like he wasn't that interested. And then he eventually said, oh, yeah, I prefer in-person communication. And he said, because he originally said, I'll get in touch with you after I've been to the wedding, which he went back to Egypt for a wedding. And he's 24, short dark hair, clean shaven, thin, coloured skin. So yeah, that's nice. But it's no good if he doesn't want a text message. Because it's not, I'm a writer. I love the written word. I need text messaging, So basically, I hadn't heard anything from him because what happened in the end is I was like, right, okay, I won't message you anymore and I'll message people who value my worth basically and want to speak to me. So what was it? Back in, where was it? Back in January the 28th, it's going back. January the 28th. He said, can we keep our communication in the PM period if that's okay? And then he started saying that we'll definitely meet up soon to know each other more as I prefer verbal communication. So he didn't, I was getting the impression that he didn't really want to speak to me. So I said about that I do love in-person communication. It's super important, but I'm used to messaging my friends a lot, especially on Facebook Messenger at any time of day, and they reply me when they can. We share our days with one another, and it's, oh, thanks for the thumbs up, and it's really lovely. We sometimes phone each other or video chat. I have a deep connection with my friends. As I'm a writer, I love to write too, and written communication I also value highly. One of my friends emails me sometimes too. Anyway, I guess you're not into text messaging and especially not Facebook messaging. And I prefer a two-way communication where the other person is as eager to talk to me, including by text messaging, as I am them. Otherwise, it feels like a one-way, one-effort conversation and I'm inconveniencing the other person, which doesn't feel good. Time is precious for both of us, so I guess it's best if I message people who value that and all the time it takes out of my day and theirs. So, you know, so I didn't, that's it. I wasn't messaging him again. If he wants to message me or follow through, that was up to him. So I didn't hear anything from him, right? That was the 28th of January. I know he said if he was going to contact me, probably be mid-February. So I hadn't heard from him. And then I heard from him on the 19th. He did apologise. He says, "Hi Sandra, I'm back from travelling. It was fun catching up with my family. Sorry if I was harsh last time I contacted you. I was checking if you'll be free next week, Tuesday or Wednesday evening to meet out in town. And I did say, I'm glad you had a good time with family and thanks for your considerate apology. I really appreciate someone who's able to reflect on things and apologise. It's a good quality to have. Anyway, so I wasn't sure about Tuesday because I sometimes go out clubbing. I got to finalise plans with my friend, but Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I said, well, are we eating or drinking? He said, oh, on Wednesday we can eat at home and then meet for a drink at 7:30. We're going to this really posh place. It's like, I've been there a long time ago. It's a pub. It's like a bar, but well, he calls it a pub, but it's part of like a hotel. But you can go in there as a public as well. It's nice. He doesn't drink alcohol either. I did think that was a plus. And he's saying they have plenty of fruit juices and hot chocolate. And then I didn't hear from him till Tuesday night, a few hours ago, saying, "Hi Sandra, hope you enjoyed weekend. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow." So I just put, yes, thanks. I finished my asexual meetup mastery course and one of my best asexual friends. See you tomorrow. Right, in person is fine, but if in person's fine, but FFS, at least on PM, you can ask things. If the person doesn't want to take the time to message because you cannot always be F to F. What does that mean? If the person doesn't want to take the time to message because you cannot always be F to F, I don't know what F to F means. Sorry, Eddie. I don't understand that. In person's fine, but FFS, face to face. If the person doesn't want to take the time to message because you cannot always be face to face. Exactly. You can't always be face to face. So it's no good. Do you know what I mean? I'll see how it goes with him. I'll see how it goes with him tomorrow. But in terms of if he's looking for a relationship, I couldn't have a relationship with someone who oh right, okay. In person is fine, but right, okay, for F's sake, at least on PM you can ask things. That's what I mean. He doesn't want to. It's almost, when I was having the conversation, it's almost like I was just saying stuff to him to keep conversation going. He's not interested. So I don't, you know, like, I don't see that as being a good thing. It's no good for me. If he's interested, I don't know what he's wanting. I don't know if it's a date tomorrow or today, now, later today. I don't know if it's just a friendship thing. I don't know if he's just looking for someone because he's, I don't know, been an X to X amount of time. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. No idea. Absolutely diddly squat. I think he might like me a bit because he obviously knows I like younger foreign guys. I mean, that's obvious. I said in front of him. Do you know what I mean? And he did ask me if I like how much younger guys do I like, and that's a very leading question. You don't really ask that type of question usually unless you're interested in the person. But do you know what I mean? It's absolutely no good. You can't. I mean, even my closest friends, well, particularly my two closest asexual friends, we message each other a lot. You know, like with Sam, I video chat with on Sunday. Andy, I saw. Sam, I video chat with on Monday. Andy, I saw on Sunday. You know, we message each other. Like Andy messaged me again tonight. You know, we message each other most days, not necessarily every day, but the majority of days. Do you know what I mean? We keep in touch because we care about each other. I mean, obviously, he doesn't know me. I appreciate it's early days. It's only the first time we'll have met on our own. So I know that sometimes in the beginning, people message less, but to actually be told, right, basically, I'm not into messaging, I'm into in-person contact. You know, it's like, well, what about the type of communication I want? You know, I can't be, you know, like, even in terms of friendship, you can't really have a really close friendship or deep friendship with someone that much, can you? Who's like that, really? Who, you know, like, if you can't see them much face to face, or I might be really busy. But anyway, I'm just to see how it goes tomorrow night. He reckons he's really good at in-person conversation, so we'll see if it's me doing all the talking or if he's doing the talking, won't we? And we'll see what he says, and we'll see if he arranges to see me again or not. I'll just leave him, but it's not long term. That's not going to be good for me, because if I want a relationship, I want a guy to want to message me, be involved in my life, speak to me even when we're apart, and actually really value my worth and want to spend time getting to know me and conversing with me. But otherwise, he's just going to have to make all the moves. I just won't bother texting him. And so when he goes tomorrow night, I'll be just like, oh, probably nice time with you. Thanks very much. Great. Bye. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if he doesn't want me to text him, it means he's got to do all the work, hasn't he? He's got to text me for meeting. But I guess he's just going to be texting me for meeting up, not texting me to actually develop anything real. Do you know what I mean? It's very bizarre, especially for a 24-year-old. That's very bizarre behaviour. Like some guys that are over 50 or, like older than that, some of the guys, well, I'm not used to texting, but even the older guys, that on asexual dating sites, they say to me, I'm not used to this texting business, but I know I've got to get used to it because I know that's what older people do these days. Seems like he wants to be chased. No, he doesn't want to be chased. He wants to be the person who chases. He doesn't want to be chased. If he wanted to be chased, then he would want me messaging him. He would want me being in contact with him. He wants to be the chaser. He wants to be the alpha male, which is him who does all the chasing and me not keeping contact with him. So basically he wants to make arrangements to see me when he wants to see me. He wants to have it on his terms. That's what it actually means. Not like he wants to be chased. It's the opposite. He wants to chase me. It's typical alpha male behavior. So I've done the right thing. Whenever a guy behaves like this and he's clearly not interested or behaving like he's not interested because he's not messaging. If a guy's really into a woman, he'll want to message her. If he doesn't, he's not into me. So I don't understand. I really don't. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a nice person to look at. What's the worst can happen? I spend 2.5 hours gazing at the face of someone who's quite beautifully aesthetic to look at. Do you know what I mean? And it's some nice surroundings. I mean, he is going to take me to a place, well, I say take me, I'm going to meet him in a place that's sophisticated and it is a nice place to get to know someone, so it's not just like a really crowded, rowdy place. It'll be quite a nice place to get to know someone, quite sophisticated. So I'm quite impressed with that. But he definitely doesn't want to be chased. He wants to be the chaser. A guy who wants to be chased is someone who wants to be rung, wants to be texted. He wants a woman to do all the work. A guy who likes to chase doesn't want the woman to contact him and be and make first moves. He wants to do that type of thing. So it's the opposite, Eddie, in this case. So, but it's all very good and well that, but it's just like, it's not really how I form a deep emotional connection with someone, and it's hard because I know I like him a little bit already, obviously. But I'll see how it goes. It'll be nice. He's 24, is the look I like, although he's not Indian, and he's got a good job and stuff. I'll see how it goes. I mean, he did make a couple of comments that were a little bit like, for example, I said I didn't know where the venue was to the meetup in the first place. He goes, oh, I'm surprised, since you've lived next to her. Obviously, you haven't lived in Exeter that long then. And I was like, well, yes, I have, but I don't go to every place in Exeter just because I live here. So, I'll have to see how it goes. But, I went out tonight. I was dancing with 3 guys. I'm still going to go out and have a good fun. And that's what I would say. If you've got any type of situation like this where a guy's doing this type of thing with you, like they'll just like see you and not really keep in contact with you, go out, date other guys, or, obviously, like date other people. Don't chase after them. It's the worst thing you could do. You just let them be. If they want to do all the running around, they are the one who wants to instigate actually meeting up with you. They're the ones who want to, they're the ones who, like, if there's going to be a message, they want to give it to you to use you arrange to meet up. Like, let them get on with it, But at the end of the day, there's going to be a point where you're going to have to tell them if they're interested in a relationship. Like, this doesn't work for me. I need a persistent and consistent guy who is consistently communicating with me on a daily basis. Because I can't develop and sustain a deep emotional connection else, and a guy who values my worth would want me to be in his life daily. There's plenty of guys out there that will want that if he doesn't. Yes, I mean, this guy isn't asexual, don't forget. If I'm interested in a sexual, there's plenty out there for me. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if this guy could actually be in a relationship with an asexual anyway, but he seems interested with asexuality and the whole thing, so that's a bonus. But you know what I mean? There's loads of sexual guys out there. There might be some others like Eddie that can live without sex, so I don't have to settle for him. And I'm liking my single life anyway at the moment. You know, I've got loads of stuff I'm doing this year, loads of things I need to finish off, loads of Asexual Guide to Sex has got to be really done next, finished. It's all exciting stuff this year for me, you know, and I just think it's nice, you know, for me to go out. And when I go out and I dance with 3 different guys, it's very good. It helps you with your abundance mindset, because the last thing you want to do is get into a scarcity mindset, like, oh, this guy in front of me is the only guy that's ever going to like me, that's ever going to possibly be in a relationship with me being asexual. This, you know, because then you get with the wrong guy. You know, you get with a guy that's just no good for you, not giving you what you want fully, because you're accepting breadcrumbs, because you're just thinking, well, I can't get anyone else. When I go to a club and there's an abundance of guys that all want to dance with me, all like my dancing, they find me attractive or whatever, you know, obviously a lot of them are after sex, but there's probably going to be a odd couple now and again that like me more than that. Do you know what I mean? And they, you know, like, why should I be, you know, like with a guy who's not really into me? You know, he's not, you know, if a guy's being like that, he's not really that into you. But I realise it's early days. I haven't met with a person yet, so I'm not gonna get too enough flap about it. I mean, I've got my reservations with all that. I don't think it's good. It's not a good sign from the beginning, because if he's like that in the beginning, what's he gonna be like down the line? But I do know that sometimes when you don't know someone very well, you haven't got a really connection with them, then you're not gonna text much anyway. You're not gonna really be thinking about doing that, you know, so I'm going to see how it goes. You know, I'll probably have a nice, I think I'll have a nice time. I think he's a very reliable guy, so that's a good thing about him. He is into business, which is a good thing. I do think he likes me in some way, but not enough. I think he's a bit like, I think he's interested in meeting up with, I get the impression he's interested in meeting up with me a lot, but not actually communicating in between, which is a bit weird. Yeah, so I'll park it. It's early days, and it'll be nice just to be out with a younger guy. I mean, I don't know if it's a date, but it's kind of like a date, in it? But I just want to think, I don't know what this is, and I think it's best not to presume. You know, if a guy hasn't made it clear to you why he wants to see you, then it's best not to presume anything. I mean, it could be a date. It could just be that he wants a friend, just because he'd be lonely. Maybe he just finds me an interesting person to talk to, and thought, well, it's nice to spend a few hours with her, talking to her, because she's an interesting person, and maybe he doesn't know that many people in the city. Because he was asking me about connections. He goes, oh, you must have a lot of connections. So I don't know if you're just using me for business connections. How do I know? I don't know any of this, so I won't know anything until I see him. But I don't think it's going to do any harm. I mean, he's not, you know, he's a skinny guy. It's not like he can hurt me, really. I don't think he's a hurtful guy. I mean, he's connected to me on Facebook, and he seems like he's got nice friends. He seems like he's really family driven, and he seems like he is a caring person that way. So I think there's quite a lot of good qualities about him, if I'm honest. But just like this communication thing is really not going to be any good for me if he's interested relationship wise. But I'll see how it goes, you know, because you should never try and change someone. If they want to change, that's up to them. You should never try and change someone. You know, if you've got a problem with something, like, for example, if he got to the stage where he was interested in a relationship, I would have to clearly tell him, well, at the moment, you can't give me what I want, because I'm looking for a guy who's persistent, who's consistent, who wants to message me daily, who wants me in his life, who wants to me in his life, even though I'm not actually physically with him in person. Do you know what I mean? And he wants to share his days with me. He wants to share his secrets and be bestest ever friends, and just have this amazing communication in all ways, shape, or form. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be very interesting. But it's nice, isn't it, to go out with a younger foreign guy? It's kind of like I'm one step nearer to where I want to be with that. But, you know, I've got my career to think about. I'm happy being single. I love going out clubbing and dancing with different guys. It is good for morale, self-esteem, confidence building. To know there's a lot of guys that are going to like me, not just one. So I'm not so focused on one. I think it's very good. And thank God the Bangladeshi guy wasn't there tonight, or at least I couldn't see him. Well, they were so crowded. So if he was there, I wouldn't have noticed him probably anyway. But then he's likely to have come to that type of end where I was. I don't think he was there. So, yeah. So anyway, I will keep you posted on how it goes. Obviously, I've got to be careful what I say because I don't want to reveal all his personal stuff. That's not fair on him. I'll just how how it goes in general, how he got on basically. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I really appreciate Eddie being here, and I know Richard was here as well. So thank you so much. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really, really appreciate the thumbs up. And if you didn't already know, this channel's gone over 100,000 views now. So I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for making that possible. And don't forget to racial quirky and each other's. Click subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Make sure you press that bell icon to get notified every time I go live. Like now, I'll post a new video, and I'll see you on the next video live stream. It's lovely to talk to you. Take care. Obviously, I'm out on it. Obviously, I'm with the guy tonight, so I'm not going to be able to live stream when I'm with him. So I'm kind of doing a video now. Because I kind of missed last night out because I had to go clubbing and it was too late before I do it. So I don't expect there'll be a video tonight, right? Because I'm going to be with him and I don't know what time I'm going to get back. So anyway, but I'll do one afterwards because I've done Wednesdays now anyway. Anyway, until next time, racial quirky and each other. See you soon. Bye. Bye, Eddie. Bye, everyone.